When you're sourcing, what should you be targeting and looking for? What is the perfect Poshmark item to sell? I have what I kind of call objective criteria. I mean, there's obviously a subjective element to it, but it's a way to kind of like not so much worry about the style, not worry about so much what's on trend, and just try to find these things where it's like, it's kind of a sure thing that this is going to be a good seller. Download your free reseller resource guide today. I constantly update and share with you discounts, favorites, tools, and resources to help you with your reselling business. After the video, click the link in the description and get your totally free guide today. Are you wondering what you should fill your Poshmark closet with so you can make the most amount of money on Poshmark? All the Gucci. No, I'm just kidding. So I don't even sell Gucci. That's not a thing for me. To me, I'm going to share with you today what my opinion is of the perfect Poshmark item. Now, I recently did a video about the perfect Poshmark listing, so you can check that out, which is exactly what I think should be in the perfect listing on Poshmark. This video is going to be all about the item, right? So what should be in your thought pattern when you're sourcing? What should you be targeting and looking for? What is the perfect Poshmark item to sell? I have some what I kind of call objective criteria. I mean, there's obviously a subjective element to it, but it's a way to kind of like not so much worry about the style, not worry about so much what's on trend, and just try to find these things where it's like, it's kind of a sure thing that this is going to be a good seller. And then I actually have some examples for you. So I'm going to go through the key points of what I think you should be looking for criteria wise. And then I'm going to show you a few listings that have recently sold that are like living embodiments of those tips. So that way you could see the proof. So what you should put in your Poshmark store. So you've probably heard me talk about this if you've seen my Instagram posts or other YouTube videos, that you should source items of value. So what is that? What is an item of value? Something that is inherently valuable. A leather jacket is going to inherently be more valuable than a tank top, right? Like it's a leather jacket. It's made of leather. And so it's a leather jacket, and that is important. That is something that somebody is seeking out. It is valuable because it's a leather jacket. Something else would be like a dress is, again, an item of value over a tank top. So jeans are an item of value over potentially shorts. So it's not saying to sell all the kinds of items. It's saying find the most kinds of valuable items based on item type. So jeans, outerwear, dresses, potentially sweaters of certain kinds. So items that are more valuable, more higher end, just inherently worth more. Okay, so an item of value, that's one of the criteria. Then brand name. And so this can kind of cycle through, right? So a Revolve brand that's is in, and then all of a sudden it revolves out. So I don't often find those kinds of brands. I try to stick to brands that are more like tried and true types of things. So I like to sell Zara. I'm sure there might come a day where Zara isn't a thing. But for many years now, Zara has been a pretty good tried and true bread and butter seller for me. And so that's a brand that I focus on. And then, you know, your random come and go trendy brand from Revolve or Anthropologie, I less focus on those because I know they're going to come and go with the tides. So I think trying to identify some brands that are high-end enough, or brands that are bread and butter, but you're picking the right items of value from that are tried and true. So like a Zara dress or Zara outerwear, that's like a good hitter for me. Like that's a good one for me. Then on like maybe let's say the higher end side, I would pick like a Draper James dress or a Bowden dress. Those are good brands with an item of value. That's what I like to sell. Next is a current style. Now, I'm less concerned about style, but I know many people enjoy following trends, seeing what the trends are, and buying trendy things. They're more fashionable in general than I am, and like, that's okay. You do you. I'm gonna do me and not care about that stuff. But I do know that trends have a longer shelf life than others, right? High-rise jeans now have been around for a couple of years. It might go out and then they might go down to low rise again. But I think that high rise is kind of going to have a level because People like how it looks, it's flattering to them, and it's still generally speaking a look that's in. The cut, like whether it's skinny, high rise, which was in, now it's more the wide leg, the straight leg, the mom jean, the 90s kind of like type thing, the cargo pants and all of that. That is a change from the skinny, but they're all still mostly in the high rise category. So I'm mostly focused on high rise. I'm not as much focused on low rise. Now, I know that there's the whole like Y2K type thing. I don't really do a lot of that. So maybe there's a subset of people that do want that, but I don't really sell that. So style, I think if you are good enough to follow it and you know what you're doing, then you should be buying on style. If you're someone that isn't good with that stuff, you should stick to things that are more safe or more evergreen styles. Like, I'm not so much buying cold shoulder tops anymore because that's kind of had its day. There's different like variables on it that I have still seen, but like the traditional cold shoulder that we sold maybe 3 or 4 years ago, that was the thing. That's less of a thing. So I'm not buying that. I don't shop at thrift stores anymore. Almost all of my inventory as a 6-figure reseller comes from Helly Source. I've been ordering boxes and pallets from Helly for years now. I love that I can spend my time working on my business and not wandering around thrift stores and digging through bins for hours only to come away with okay items. Now with a few clicks, I get exactly what I want to sell, all shipped to my door, often with free shipping and always with a discount code. Use my code Rebecca the Reseller for 10% off your next Helly Source order. Next one is evergreen styles. So a shift dress in most cases is like an evergreen style. There's always going to be that kind of a silhouette that you're looking for. Or even like faux leather leggings, like they go with everything. And so there's always going to be people that want to buy faux leather leggings. Or an oversized sweater. Like, sure, oversized right now, slouchy right now, all of that is good. The comfy loungewear kind of style is good. But like, not everybody's gonna want a tight fitted top. And so even if that becomes the overwhelming style, there's always gonna be somebody that wants an oversized sweater to be comfy. So I feel like there are some styles that are just evergreen, that are there all the time, and you want to focus on that. Desirable fabric. If you have watched my channel for any amount of time, I bet you that you know what I'm going to say right now. That's cashmere. Cashmere sells all the time, every day, 365 days a year. Not every day am I selling cashmere, but I sell cashmere in the summer, in the winter, at all the times. I love selling it. I pretty much buy any brand of cashmere. It is a desirable, sought out fabric that makes a sweater an item of value. So if you had an acrylic sweater or a polyester sweater, that is not an item of value per se. I mean, it might be because of the brand. It might be because of the style, but that sweater may not be an item of value. But if you have a cashmere sweater, the fabric makes it an item of value and therefore more desirable, higher sell-through rate, higher, sales price, and all of that. So fabric, alpaca, linen, organic cotton, leather, suede, many, many other things. These are all desirable, highly sought after, maybe mohair or angora. So fabric can be one of the reasons why you buy an item. Now, another one is personal track record with this brand item combination that you may find. I like selling Torrid dresses, right? So I don't sell everything of Torrid. I sell Torrid dresses. And I have a personal track record of selling many Torrid dresses quickly or slowly for a good price. So I have a personal track record with this item brand combination. And so I'm going to seek those out and fill my store with more of those things. And for me, that becomes a perfect Poshmark item because I know that I can buy it for X, I can list it for X, it's going to probably sell for X, and it does it again and again, and I can replicate that. To me, that is a perfect Poshmark item. Now, that doesn't mean that it's going to be a perfect Poshmark item for you because you want to go off of your personal selling track record. So for you, you might love selling Harley Davidson jackets, you know? And so that's a thing for you. Like, I've sold like 3 things of Harley Davidson in my reselling life. So maybe for you, that's something you know about. It's something you can get easily. You know what you can buy it for, what you can list it for. You've sold them again and again. And so for you, that's your perfect Poshmark item. If you could fill your store with Harley Davidson jackets, you would. So personal track record, going off of your solds, what you know you have confidence in, where you feel like you could potentially pay up for items, target items, and sell them repeatedly with consistency. Personal track record. And then the next thing, if you don't have a personal track record or it hasn't built up enough, or you're just looking to expand outside of your personal track record, which I do all the time, I share Bolo Brands videos of brands that have sold for over $50 that I've never heard of. I have a whole playlist on those videos so you can see and learn with me about new brands that are high value sellers. This is what I'm talking about. So you go to Poshmark and look for the comps that have generally a good selling record. So in those videos, I'll like scan the solds, find something I've never heard of, and then dive deep into that brand to look at the solds and the availables to see like, was that one that I saw a fluke, or is this a really good brand that consistently sells for this kind of money, and is this something I should be targeting? And I found lots of brands that way. So you could check out those videos if you're interested in trying that method out. But if you already know what I'm talking about, then this is something you can implement to find more perfect Poshmark items. So I think one that I thought was weird was this plus size jeans brand called Judy Bloom. I had never heard of it. And when I went on there, it was like sale after sale after sale after sale. It was like $30+ or whatever the comps were. And I was like, how did I never hear of this brand? Like, how is it possible? I mean, I don't know everything that's out there. I'm the first one to admit that. But I feel like I've been around enough to be like, if this was that good of a plus size jeans brand, you'd think I would have heard of it. And I didn't, which means that you can always learn more. There's always more things to sell, and things do change. So you need to keep your research, hat on sometimes. And so I found out about this Judy Bloom brand that seems to be a really consistent plus size jeans seller. That's something that if I was right now wanting to like target more stuff and kind of grow wide with the brands that I'm focusing on, I would totally add that one in. Right now I'm kind of okay with what I have. And I just did a video about 18 brands that like I focus on. I probably in the new year will be thinking about what kind of new brands can I be adding, and that might be one of them. And that's based off of this tip, which is look up the comps and find something that has a generally good track record. And that could be a new perfect Poshmark item for you. Don't forget to stop by the Rebecca the Reseller Academy, where you can find all of the products and all of the educational tools I have available for you, including all the free goodies. Here you can find coaching calls, Poshmark closet reviews, digital downloads, including my free reseller resource guide, as well as all of my courses and all of the bundles to save you lots of money. Hope you'll stop by soon at the Rebecca the Reseller Academy. So the last one, and then we'll get into some examples of real life of these, is an item that has a purpose where somebody would be spending money. There's 2 examples that I have. One is like a, wedding guest dress or graduation dress, or, just kind of like a semi-formal dress that you would wear, or even a formal dress for prom. There's a specific kind of dress for a specific kind of an event, and that person's going to definitely need to go and buy it. And so they're going to need to spend some money on it. It's like a target captive audience. Somebody doesn't have to buy a new sweater this season. They don't have to. They probably have a sweater, so they don't have to buy this sweater. But if they're going to the wedding, they probably have to buy a dress, because they probably don't have a fancy dress in their closet that fits them anymore. Because I'm one of those people. So if I had to go to a wedding right now, I would not have a dress. And then I will come to your closet. So yes, I think that if there's an event that's specifically needing a specific kind of outfit, that's a good kind of item to have. It's not always like readily available, but if you can get yourself into that kind of market, that could be really good. The other one that I thought of, and I've had some luck with this, is pregnancy photo maternity dresses. So people love getting the photo shoot's done and they're on the beach, they're at the park, they're here, they're there, wherever. And it's like the long, flowing, bohemian style dress with the flutters and the flowing and all the things. I mean, I did not do this. If you guys know me by now from watching my videos, you will know that I'm probably not one of those people that did one of those things. Nope, did not. I was trucking it around Disney at 9 months pregnant with Gio and my belly. I was not getting pregnancy photo bohemian shoots done. Like, that's just not how I roll. But I am happy to sell a beautiful flowy maternity dress to someone that wants to do that. I make no judgments. So that's like another example of probably the only kind of maternity item that I would sell these days is that kind of maternity dress, is that pretty, flowy, pregnancy photo shoot type of dress, because they're specifically wanting it for that purpose. And weirdly enough, they'll spend a lot of money on that one dress for that one particular time in their life. So just to get those pictures, that's another example of that. Like, it's an event-driven, purpose-driven type of item. So those were all of the tips of the kinds of items that I think make up a perfect Poshmark item. If you can get an item that has multiple of these things, it's even more perfect and it's even more guaranteed to sell. I mean, there's no guarantees in life, but I find if I have a good brand of a cashmere sweater that is oversized, which is style, and I've had a personal track record and the comps are good, like, that hits many of these things and it's pretty much a given that it's going to sell. So that's just like one example. But I have 4 actual examples from my closet of recent sales that I want to show you. So the first up is this Zara metallic velvet midi slip dress, medium gold, high slit spaghetti strap. This sold for $72. This is one of the reasons why I love selling Zara dresses. Not all Zara dresses are $72 sellers, but this person, was it an offer out or an offer in? I don't remember, but I think I had it up for $85, and then there was an offer of some kind made, and it sold for $72, like, just in the last week. And yes, so this is not your everyday dress, right? We're not wearing this to the office. We're not wearing this to a picnic in the park. This is for an event. This person has somewhere to go. She needs a showstopper of a dress, and she found this one. And I hope she looks great, and I hope she has a wonderful time at whatever event it is. And I'm super happy with the $72 Zara sale. So this is one of those examples of a purpose event plus brand plus personal track record plus comps, because I have seen some Zara dresses that sell like for $80. Normally, I list my Zara dresses at $50, but this one, based on comps that I'd recently seen, I was like, oh my God, some of these fancier dresses can go for higher. So I put it up for higher, and it sold for $20 more than I would have listed it for regularly. So sometimes checking comps gets you more money, right? Like, you think you're going to list it for $50, and then all of a sudden you check the comps, you're like, I could list it for $85, sell it for $72, and that's way more money than I was planning on making. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. So that's a good, perfect Poshmark item. Next one is a Lord & Taylor, so expensive brand from the department store Lord & Taylor. Are they even around anymore, or did they close? I don't know. Petite, so like a specific type of size, which I didn't mention that on there, but that's actually a good idea. Petite large, cashmere, brown pink argyle print, button down. So it's got some style elements. It's cashmere, so it has fabric type. It has brand because it's a higher end department store. And this I listed for $50, and it outright sold for $50. Just bought it outright at full price. Like, talk about perfect. So this is definitely one of those things where it doesn't happen all the time. We don't always get full price sales, but when they do, they're perfect. And I feel like this is a really good example because it had so many things going for it. It honestly was an older kind of style, but somebody may have wanted that, like, you know, this exact kind of like the argyle, like I feel like golf, like plaid, all that kind of thing. So somebody wanted that style, so they bought it on style. I wasn't necessarily selling it on style, but they probably bought it because of that style. So Perfect, perfect, perfect sale in my opinion. This one is Aritzia Wilfred Free Daria Pants small high waist faux vegan suede leggings. So these I actually had for a really long time because you can tell from my numbering system, this was number 192. So after the pandemic, when I started listing items again, I started at 1, and this was 192. So it was very early, close to that time. Now I'm up to 7,500. So that's how old this item is. But I kept it. I kept it because it's an item of value. It is faux vegan suede leggings. It is high-waisted. It is from a good brand, Aritzia, Wilfred Free. And so somebody was going to want this. And so I kept it. It sold for $30. I had it up for $50. It's not the best sale. It's not the worst sale. But it's a good example of the perfect Poshmark item. This is the kind of item that sells on Poshmark all the time. Faux vegan suede leggings, things from Aritzia, cashmere sweaters, Zara fancy dresses. Like these are the kinds of items that are selling here. And then next up is Lane Bryant, which I don't know, it looks like it's backwards, but it might not be backwards. I don't know. My VA might have listed this like backwards. Also, weird, she has the Zara, this one's all messed up. Sometimes you'll find a listing if you have a virtual assistant where it's like, by the grace of God, this item sold. Because when you go back and look at it, you're like, everything was wrong with this item. How the heck did it sell? So she's got a Zara sign in a Lane Bryant listing. Well, that's no good. It makes me feel like I need to check many listings and see what is going on here. Ay. Anyway, so Lane Bryant, ruched front, tropical print, sheath dress, 1820 green, white. Yep, and that's all we said. So this sold for $35. And this is, again, just another perfect Poshmark listing. It's a plus size dress. It's Lane Bryant. I bought it for less than 10, listed it for 50, sold for 35. It's a tropical print, which is just kind of like something that's in style with the palm fronds and all that kind of thing. And it's just the right kind of thing to sell. It's not an older style. I don't know if it's a new tag or not, but I sell a lot of Lane Bryant dresses. I don't know if this is a new tag or not. I sell a lot of Lane Bryant dresses. This is one of the higher sell prices than sometimes they sell when I sell them for 50% off. So they sell at $25. But even then, I'm still making decent profit. This one I'm making more profit on. And so for me, based on my track record, I know that I can always pay up to $10 for a Lane Bryant dress. I can list it for $50. It's going to sell for $25 to $35, and I'm going to be great with that sale. So for me, this dress is the perfect Poshmark listing. For you, it might not be, because this one, I'm going off of my personal track record of selling Lane Bryant dresses. But what I did do in preparation for this video, so this is kind of like a fluke. Because this dress is listed for $30, this dress is for $32, $20, $20, next row, $30, $39, $24, $39. So I sold it for what these are listed for. Really on the higher side because there's only 2 over 35. All the rest of them were less. Now let's look at the solds. 25, 26, 15, 12, 12, 26, 22. So my comp was $9 higher than the highest comp sold. Now, why is that? That's like a completely separate other video, but I really wanted to make this point because I was just like, this is such a great point of like kind of why I make videos and why I share all these tips and tricks and why coming up with the perfect Poshmark item is important and why coming up with the perfect Poshmark listing is important is because I listed mine for 50 and I sold it for 35. Most of these are listed for 30 and 20. Most of these are selling for 20. So I got $9 more than even the highest comp out there. So my dress was like nice, presentable, white, good photos. There wasn't all this other stuff in the listing. It was a good listing. It had the right keywords. And so even though it was priced high, it still sold and for more money. These people maybe could have sold their item for higher, but they don't have that same kind of presentation. I'm not here to like diss on them. I'm just here to show that like all the other things besides the item matters. So not only was it a perfect Poshmark item, but I believe that I had a perfect Poshmark listing, and that's what helped it sell. So like I said at the beginning of the video, if you haven't seen that perfect Poshmark listing video, go and check that out. I just did the perfect Poshmark item video. The other third part that I think helped it sell and for higher money was perfect Poshmark process. So if you want to know what the sales generating activities are that I do that help make a perfect Poshmark process, comment that down below. Perfect Poshmark process. Comment that down below and let me know, and then I'll make that video as well, because I think that there's not just one thing. It's not just about having the perfect item. It's not just about having the perfect listing. It's not just about having the perfect process, but all three of those things together help your items to sell and, as you can see here, sell for more money. So I really hope that that was impactful and showed some really good information for you guys to take away and implement into your Poshmark store so you can make more money on Poshmark. Thanks, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!